What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers, and of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, the Bulls are coming off of a loss versus the Phoenix Suns, in which they didn't play the best second half of basketball, and ultimately, when you go against a team that has a Kevin Durant, a Devin Booker, it's kind of hard to not play two great halves of basketball and ultimately win the game. So the Bulls came off of a loss in their last outing, and today was just a way to bounce back against a team in the Pacers who the Bulls have struggled versus through the better part of the season. Now, in my opinion, I wanted to see the Bulls come out and just show that even though the Pacers have gave them problems, that they could get a win and ultimately build upon what they want to do going forward. You know, already being in the 11th spot behind two teams that ultimately you are looking up at. And the Bulls just need to find a way to pile wins together at this stage of the season. And of course, I was one to say this, right? You know, we have to beat the Pacers. You have to beat the Pacers. You just have to find a way to play 48 minutes of basketball. Whether who's out on the floor, X's and O's, whatever, you have to find a way to put this win together. And in the beginning of the game, you did see Zach LaVine with a three to start the game. And like I said, Zach LaVine has been one of the better players since the All-Star break, honestly, especially for the Bulls. And you've seen that with the onset of the way he was playing. You've seen Alex Caruso get out in transition. And the Bulls was causing turnovers early. Actually, it was 3 early turnovers by the Indiana Pacers, which made them call a timeout. Now, Zach LaVine, like I said, his offense was going early. You seen DeMar DeRozan with an early three, and he started getting to his spots. But Halliburton was the player that was making the Pacers go in the first 12 minutes of this basketball game. You actually seen him making passes, hitting his shots, and just ultimately running the offense to the degree of his speed. You know, he's one of those players that I like to say he never allows anybody to speed him up or slow him down. He plays the NBA game at his own pace, and you've seen that especially on the early parts of this basketball game. Now, you did see one thing that we didn't see in the second half versus Phoenix, Vucevic getting to the post. You've seen Patrick Beverley getting to the rim, and Vucevic was actually putting moves together in the paint versus a pretty good defender in Miles Turner. The Bulls do go on a 6-0 run, but again, Halliburton was having a great first quarter. You seen Billy Donovan elect to go to the bench. Patrick Williams got in there. He did hit a mid-range jump shot, and he was looking for his shot pretty early also. And Zach LaVine, not taking a step back to Tyrese Halliburton, did have himself a first quarter also. That was definitely something that the Bulls leaned on. The Bulls defense was definitely getting into the passing lanes, but you've seen more or less of something that was starting a snowball effect, and that was the Pacers bench. You seen Chris Duarte come in and hit a three at the end of the first, and the Bulls, they were up after the first. Now, going into the second, you seen DeMar DeRozan with the first two to actually start the second quarter, but then the Pacers' second chance points in their bench was the calling card for how the remainder of this half basically went. You seen TJ McConnell get off the bench and make an impact. And Stacey King said something about TJ that I definitely want to echo, and he is an irritant. He's one of those guys that's always around the basketball. He's making plays. He's making passes. He's making guys better and things like that. He's one of those guys. But again, DeMar DeRozan, his shots was steadily falling. You seen the Pacers, their threes were. That's one thing about the Bulls, right? They have an offense where we know Zach LaVine could get buckets, and we know DeMar DeRozan could get buckets, but the three ball is where the Bulls have at some point in the offseason. They have to figure out a way to address. They have to figure out a way to address the three ball. It has to be addressed. It just has to be addressed. Because facing a team like the Pacers, who have outside shooting from Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Duarte, guys like that, and you can't match what they're doing from the perimeter, it's going to be a problem. Now, what you did see as the Pacers went on their 17-4 run, Zach LaVine kept having himself a half. I will say that. But the Bulls did find themselves down 7 at the half, 60-67. Now, Patrick Beverley did start the third with a 3. And you seen, again, DeMar DeRozan getting to his spots. Vucevic in the post. DeMar DeRozan offense was looking really smooth. What I liked over the course of the last 2 games that I did see from DeMar DeRozan is just he's getting back into that flow of being aggressive. Right before the All-Star break, he was dealing with an injury. And I just didn't see that same level of aggressiveness like last year. Where DeMar DeRozan was going out and proving people wrong with the things that they said about his free agency choice and the Chicago Bulls actually signing him. Now, the Pacers' second chance points were definitely giving the Bulls continuous problems. Now, the Bulls did cut the lead down to 6, and you saw Patrick Williams with a 3, but the Bulls just could not seem to get close at all. Ayo Dosunmu was in transition. The Bulls were getting on the break. You seen the Pacers' 3s and 43 bench points were definitely the cause and effect of the third quarter. Now, Zach LaVine, you did see him attacking the rim. Halliburton scored at the end of the third, and the Pacers are up 89-95 going into the fourth quarter. Now in the fourth quarter, this is where the game was more nip and tuck. You seen the game get really, really down to the wire. You seen the game get close. You seen guys making plays. And one thing I can say about the Bulls especially is they elected to put the ball in Zach LaVine's hands. I liked what I seen from Zach LaVine in today's game. I liked what I seen from just DeMar DeRozan deferring at moments to Zach LaVine. At one point, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine was just going your turn, my turn, which I did like. But I like to see some sprinkles of Vucevic in there also, honestly, because when you couple that with the big and then go inside, the outside, the mid-range, I think that would have gave the Bulls a much, much more offensive punch, so to speak. Now, what I did see down the stretch in this basketball game, it was just 2 teams honestly trying to gut a win. For the Pacers, it was a team that was trying to, win the series versus the Bulls, season series, so to speak. And with Chicago, you just seen a team that needed a win, especially after the way they lost to the Phoenix Suns. Now, you see, at the 3:38 mark, Zach LaVine did hit a 3-point bucket, and that put the Bulls up 114-112. Then Tyrese Halliburton, he made a jump shot and he tied it at 114. But then this is where things turned for the worse. Patrick Beverley was defending Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton ended up getting fouled, and it ended up being a flagrant foul. Patrick Beverley was right in his landing space, which caused Tyrese Halliburton to go to the free throw line for 1. Then Miles Turner turned around and hit a layup. So the Bulls were down 117-114. You seen DeMar DeRozan come back down on the other end, hit a big 2-point shot. Bulls down 1. Bulls get the rebound. Then you see DeMar DeRozan hit another jump shot. Bulls up 1. Benedict Mathurin come down. It was a lot of back and forth towards the end of this game. Pacers go up 119-118. Zach LaVine hits a jump shot. It's 119-120. Then Zach LaVine, No, then Buddy Hield comes, hits a 2. It's 122-120. Zach LaVine gets fouled on a 3-point shot and goes 2 for 1. Oh, excuse me, 2 for 3. He goes 2 for 3. Pacers get the ball, and at that moment, I'm telling myself, I'm like, okay, Bulls up. The only thing in this situation to do is get the ball out of Halliburton's hands. You have to get the ball out of Halliburton's hands no matter what. The Chicago Bulls don't do that. Tyrese Halliburton basically wins the game on a 28-foot three-pointer. The Bulls do get the ball back, but to no avail. Vucevic turnaround three-pointer from the right wing, it misses, and the Chicago Bulls lose another game to the Indiana Pacers by a final score of 125-122. The Bulls are now 29-36 on the season with not that many games to go left in the regular season. I mean, you turn around and you play on the next game the Chicago Bulls have is on Wednesday, and that's versus a very, very tough opponent in the Denver Nuggets. Tough. MVP candidate Nikola Jokic, tough. But I really want to talk about today's game. I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw from the team. I liked what I saw down the stretch. But again, the team just has to learn how to finish games. You have to know how to close out. You have to know how to put wins and finish teams off, no matter who it is. You know, if you're going to be right there with the rest of the league and consider yourself in the upper echelon with the conference, you know, this isn't last year. You're right there at the bottom of the conference, right there on the outside looking in. You need a lot of help. And wins is the best form, the way to give you help. You know, when I look at what I saw from the Chicago Bulls today, I told myself, I'm like, okay, they lost, but in which way did they lose? Did they lay down after giving up a big lead? Because that's happened on plenty of occasions with the Indiana Pacers. Now you have a game where it was winnable, but you lost late. You have to just figure out a way to put wins together. That's just my honest opinion. If the Bulls are going to do anything at the latter stages of this season, it's just about putting wins together late. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Bulls fans, Pacers fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into the channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network. And let me say this before I close this video out. Zach LaVine had 42 points, went 13 of 23 from the field, and went 5 of 8 from 3. What a game. What a game. This is Astronaut H. I'll catch you guys on the next video.